What up? I'm Bea and welcome to my channel where we talk about all things true crime and current events. Today we're going to be checking in with our favorite couple, Paul and Morgan. They've recently done kind of like a pair of videos. The first one was questions that girls are too afraid to ask guys, and now just recently they put out one called questions guys are too afraid to ask girls. Now, I watched the first one with Paul answering all the questions that girls are too afraid to ask, and I feel like his answers were very safe. I don't know how genuine they were, if that's really how he feels. I don't know, but it was definitely interesting. And so when they put this one out, I was like, we gotta react to it. We gotta see, because I can't answer from a guy's perspective, but I can definitely give you a girl's perspective. And so that's what we're going to be looking at today. This video currently has about 23,000 views, and they did it with another YouTuber named Hannah Williamson. And it's bugging me because from the first frame, she looks super familiar, but I cannot place her. And I Googled her, I looked up her YouTube channel. She looks like I know her from somewhere, but I don't know where it is, and I can't figure it out. So maybe it'll hit me halfway through the video. I don't know. But in any case, let's go ahead and get started.
All right, here we go. I feel like guys really are asking kind of deep,
I'm loving
emotional.
This. Yeah. Cool.
Guys are bearing their souls here. What's up, guys? How you doing? I'm Paul.
I'm Morgan.
I'm Hannah.
And this is the Paul and Morgan Show. So today's video, questions that guys are too afraid to ask girls. We're about to go there, getting raw and honest, kind of a part 2 to last week's video. So I think we're gonna have a lot of fun with this. I got some good questions that neither of you guys have seen except for the one. The guys really stepped up and they've given us some good material.
I am intrigued to hear what you guys are scared to ask. But first, if you're new here, make sure you subscribe. We make Christian videos on life, love, and dating to help you have hope and be free. Wow.
Be free. Sorry.
Crickets.
Sorry, and be free. Hannah.
I'm wondering why they're in a car together. Maybe they filmed this before. Maybe this is like an older video, but I'm like, girl, that's not 6 feet apart. What are we doing here?
We are very glad and honored to have you on the channel. Hannah's YouTube channel, Hannah Williamson, has been popping. Congratulations, Hannah. Seriously, it is our honor to have you back on.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. All glory to Jesus.
First question. Does it actually matter how a guy asks you out? And then he did a follow-up question that says, some say it doesn't. If they're interested, then it doesn't matter. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think that it doesn't really matter. Just ask the girl out. I don't care if you text me. I don't care if you call me, if you ask me to my face, if you write me a note. Just ask me out.
Yeah, I would like to say, I like a pretty confident guy who's just not afraid to, even if it's hey, do you want to grab coffee? You know, just be straightforward and don't beat around the bush type thing.
But yeah, that's true. If a girl's not interested in you and you ask in the most romantic way, or you ask over a text, it doesn't matter. She's just not gonna say yes. So.
All right, next question.
Okay. I agree with him on that. As long as you're direct and ask, hey, I would like to do this with you. Would you like to come? Cool. One thing I noticed that is really interesting is they both the girls have no makeup looks. And look, women can do whatever they want. Absolutely whatever you want to do. Totally cool. Who am I to judge? But I find it interesting that they both have very, very similar makeup styles going on right now. Hannah has a little bit of a darker eye, but even that, it's just it's very, I don't know what the word is, very subtle, very muted. It's interesting to me. Not that there's anything wrong with it, it's just something that I noticed.
Why do girls go to the restroom together? It doesn't make sense.
My goodness.
I think it's just we don't want to be alone or something.
I don't know if it's that. I think it's more I have something to tell you. I need to go to the restroom, and so do you. So let's go, because I need to tell you something.
Yeah. Or if you want help checking something with your outfit or your hair.
Make a strategy of is this going well? Are we enjoying our time right now? no, we're not. Okay, we'll plan to like say we have to leave in 10 minutes. Like, we just get back on the same page and then we head out.
That's valuable knowledge.
I mean, it's different.
That's spot on. True.
For everyone, but yeah, that's probably why I would be going to the bathroom with my friends. And ladies, you can comment below if you have different answers than us and let the guys know.
Yeah, the guys deserve some attention, so ladies, really get active in that comment section. All right, here we go. Do most Christian girls find extremely innocent guys unattractive? This is a good question. I want your honest opinion. No trying to be holier than you are. What do you think here?
Innocent guys. What does that mean?
Yeah, it depends on like the kind of innocence, because honestly I think innocent guys per se are really attractive, but it depends, like I said, like it depends on the type of innocent. If it's like an innocent, like they are not confident, they don't know who they are in Christ, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like innocent to where they're just like they don't know anything.
I don't know. I mean, when I met Paul, like he was...
No, that doesn't make sense. The way you edited that, I have no clue. Because she said that she does, but then she's like, well, not, that makes no sense to me, but okay.
Innocent, in my opinion. Like, he had never kissed a girl on the lips. He had never, like, anything. Nothing. Like, and so that was innocent in my mind. I was kind of just like, wow. Obviously, if he's, like, innocent as in, like, he's not, like, a man and, like, a leader, like, that's maybe not that attractive.
All right, guys, this is the first...
That's a really weird question to ask. Like, I feel like there should have been some clarification and some guiding on that. Because, like, innocent could mean so many different things,
Heavy hitter. How often do you think about / want sex?
This is a question for Morgo because she's married.
I know that it's different for every woman. A lot of people say that the majority of women do not ever want it as much as guys want it. I think Paul thinks about it and wants it a lot more than I think about it or want it. For me, like, yeah, it crosses my mind every single day, maybe once a day.
Okay.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm wanting it every single day. Like, I could go much longer than Paul could without having sex and be just fine. But I love it. Sorry, Anna.
I would say, yeah, it's like something that you can look forward to in marriage. God created it. It's not a bad thing. Yeah, just keeping your thoughts in check and that you're not lusting. It's not bad to, like, think... I don't want to explain this.
If I understand what you're saying, as a single person, it's natural to get excited about sex in the future, but it's also our responsibility to keep those thoughts in check, discipline our minds, remove ourselves from situations where it's really tempting us to go further and think on those things further more than we need to because we're single. And that doesn't need to be something that we're fixating on.
Yeah, and not letting it turn into lust.
Yeah. All right.
The amount of cuts in her answer make me very curious as to what she was saying before. And the way that Morgan just can't talk about sex without laughing. Like, I get, like, it can be, like, a lighthearted thing. Like, oh, girls don't think about it as often as guys. But it doesn't mean it's not great. Like, make the joke. Totally cool. But she just seems so uncomfortable talking about it. And I would really love for them, Paul and Morgan, like, one of the big things in Christianity is, like, reserving sex to only be had in a marriage. That's a stable belief that's caused a lot of problems in the way that we promote that belief, in the way that purity culture has kind of taken over. There are so many things in the Bible that are against the rules or that we're not supposed to do, but according to the Bible, all sins are created equal, and we don't promote, like, honesty culture, so that's a completely in-depth subject, like a completely complex topic to talk about, and I would really love for them to be able to have more open discussions about it and feel comfortable with it, because you can tell that Paul grew up very heavily believing in purity culture, and Morgan, from what I know about them, she had sex before they got married, but her personality has kind of changed, and the way that she acts a little bit has definitely progressed from when you like find social media things of her before they got married to where she is now. So I'm sure that purity culture has been kind of either ingrained in her as a kid and she just kind of stepped away from it, or it has been like slammed into her brain over the last 5 years that they've been together. But I think it would be really cool if they could just have like a straight up open discussion about sex without laughing and without seeming uncomfortable. I would really like to see that from them. And if there is anyone watching who wants to know the answer to the question, I think it really just depends on the season that you're in and what's kind of going on in the relationship. I know girls tend to be a little bit more not reserved in wanting sex, but for them it's not always a necessary thing to feel intimate to their partner. I was listening to a podcast yesterday actually on like sexual relationships, and one of the things that they said that guys require to feel fulfilled in a relationship is that intimacy. And it's not always about the act of having sex. It's about that's how they feel close to their partners, like physical touch, engaging physically. It makes them feel like their partner is happy and safe and trusts them. And so engaging in stuff like that makes them feel connected and satisfied, whereas women gain like satisfaction differently. Not men and women, but like masculine energy versus feminine energy, depending on what the main or like the dominant energy is within yourself. Not men and women, but masculine and feminine. So that's interesting. And I think that does play a large part in why women are seen as not wanting it as much, is just because it doesn't necessarily, it's not a requirement for us to feel fulfilled to have it as often as men do. Yes, women want sex, but I definitely think it depends if they want to engage in sex with their partner, depending on how their day was, if they feel close to their partner, if they are fighting with them, stuff like that. And you can even go through seasons. Like, for me, I know that when I'm not working out and like taking care of my body, my sex drive is so low just because I don't feel good about myself. And so I just don't even want to think about myself in that way. But when I'm happy and fulfilled in the things that I'm doing, if I'm taking care of myself, if I'm working out, if I feel good about me, then it increases. So, gosh, it just depends. It varies woman to woman on a case-by-case basis. There is no straight-up answer about it, in my opinion.
Hi, how do you feel about us having best friends that are girls? This is a great one. I've thought about this because I see certain people and they just seem super comfortable and really close with a girl or girls, but there's not a relationship there. So suddenly that person gets into a relationship. Can they still have that really close best friend that's a girl? Does that make sense?
That is a good question. I just would not be comfortable with Paul having a girl best friend, like, whether we were dating or in our marriage now. Like, I just don't believe, and you guys can totally disagree with this, I do not believe a guy and a girl can be best friends and neither of them have feelings. I've just seen it so much in my own life. I'm fine if Paul like has a female friend.
I've got female friends, guys.
And I have male friends, but like I'm not going to hang out with them alone.
But the best friend status, you guys are saying probably
where they're like texting all the time or going to one another for their problems. Like, no, that is my role. You come to me when you have issues, or you go to your male mentor, because when you start like bonding over like deep things in life, it creates a relationship of sorts. Like maybe not a dating relationship because you're not kissing or whatever, but like it creates this bond and this like intimate thing, and I'm just
Anna,
I think
similarly, if you're just in the dating phase?
Yeah, I think it's just kind of playing with fire, especially if you're married. But like in the dating phase, if I'm like dating somebody and they had like a girl best friend, I'd be a little like, what's going on there?
And guys, like this might kind of be a surprise to some of you watching this, because you're thinking, I genuinely have this girl best friend and we're so close and we're not, a love interest, if I start dating someone else, do I have to change what we have here? What would you guys say to that?
Have you guys watched Hallmark movies? Like, that always happens. This guy and this girl who meet up and they like each other, but then she finds out he has a girl best friend, and then all of a sudden she's like,
She starts feeling insecure, kind of.
Yeah,
And skeptical.
I just think it's okay to be friends with the opposite sex, but to have that best friendship, if you plan on getting married and you don't want to get married to that person, you should probably take a few steps back.
Few steps back doesn't mean you need to completely end the friendship. Don't get us wrong, but maybe put a little space in between. A little space.
Yeah, I would say I would be fine with like somebody I'm dating having girlfriends, friends that are girls, just not like super close, because that could definitely create some tension in your relationship.
Yeah.
Okay. There you go. All right, let's get.
My perspective on this is a little bit different because I am married and my best friend is a guy who is also married. And I think I get where they're coming from, but I feel like they're putting an unnecessary focus on the gender of the best friend. There's two things I want to say about it. First and foremost, you should trust your partner enough to know that whatever, like even if they, if you're in a heterosexual relationship and your partner has a best friend that's a different gender, you should trust your partner enough to know that they're going to be honest with you. And if you don't trust them, if they have like a best friend who's the opposite gender and it makes you uncomfortable, that's probably a sign that your relationship isn't as strong as it could be, or maybe something's off about them in general. Like, the fact that you would feel uncomfortable about the person that your partner is friends with is cause for concern. And I think it is different if maybe the friend seems like they're a little bit more interested in your partner than you would like them to be. That's a different conversation. But if they are just friends, there shouldn't be a problem with it. And then the second thing that I want to point out is I think they're ignoring the fact that once you get married, your friendships change in general. They just do. I mean, once you get married, you're spending a lot more time with your partner. Your focus becomes on building your life together and progressing together and figuring out like your life plans, when you want to have kids, when you want to buy a house, all that kind of stuff. And so in general, you're gonna need to put separation between yourself and your best friend no matter what. No matter if my best friend is a girl, when I get married, I'm going to have less time to spend with her. This is theoretical. If I had a girl best friend, it would be the same as with my guy best friend. We don't text every day. We don't hang out every day. We don't even hang out every weekend. We go quite a while without talking, but then we still check in with each other and maintain the relationship and maintain that friendship. But we have that separation because we both have our own lives that we're building, and I think that should apply to relationships in general. Like, once you get married, that person is your number one priority, and you're not going to be able to spend as much time with your friends or text them as often, call them as often, FaceTime as you used to. And so I think that goes for, guys with girl best friends, guys with guy best friends. Like, in any situation, it applies.
Here we go. Hey, I manage Instagram accounts. Let me know if you need one.
Wow, man.
What are they getting at?
You meet up at Instagram.
Do girls care if we are too clingy in a relationship?
Yes.
Like seeking too much affirmation?
I was in a relationship before where the guy was super clingy.
Hello.
Yeah, it was really bad. And I just felt uncomfortable all the time.
Same, yeah.
I like when guys are like, they show their emotions and their affection or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're like sweet and nice. But like when they're constantly like asking you if you're okay, or just like have to be touching you like always, or just like touching your arm, or just like super close to you, it's just like, oh, give me some space.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta let the person be their independent self. I don't know, it's just like when a man like starts just being too clingy and is like constantly calling you or texting you or with you, like he has to always know what you're up to, and like it's not even that he's like controlling, but it's like he just needs that to know,
because he's almost
to
not
feel okay.
not complete if
It's
he.
like, dude,
Stop trying to interrupt her, Paul. She's answering the question.
no. And you know, obviously we're just two ladies speaking here, but I would think most women would find that unattractive.
Yeah.
I like your.
I mean, all relationships need a healthy sense of separation. The question to me was like, the guy constantly needing validation, needing like words of affirmation, and that is a very masculine thing to need, to feel appreciated and to hear that they are appreciated, but you got to have that balance. And I agree with them on like, you don't need to touch me all the time, like give me some space. There always has to be space in a relationship. It's great if you're close and you love each other and you're touching each other and constantly talking, but that's not sustainable. Like, I'm very happy that you love each other that much, but we gotta have some separation for it to be a healthy, functional, long-term relationship. So I agree with them.
Girls' honesty. It's good. This is good. This is what us guys want. We can take it. Guys, can we take it if they're being honest? We can man up and appreciate some harsh words if need be. Here we go. This question has to be asked. I'm glad someone asked it.
Oh no.
You guys can get as real and honest as you want here. I mean, obviously, I hope you're honest, but you get as deep as you want.
Okay.
What do girls first notice about a guy?
If they're hot. Duh.
Look at her face. Like, that's the most horrific thing she's ever heard. Like, it's the most salacious thing that could have come out of Morgan's mouth. And she's, oh my gosh.
I think I noticed their style, like how they
Oh.
dress.
Oh, it's good, yeah.
Because that's just important to me. Like, I love fashion. I love a guy that knows how to work some nice jeans. Like, so yeah, I like that. I check that out.
Yeah. I feel like, yeah, girls would look more at, like, clothes and stuff, but physically, like, I feel like I notice a guy's smile for sure.
Yeah.
Like, if he's smiley or if he's more, like,
So almost like their demeanor, their countenance.
yeah, and, like, it's just the way they act in general. If they're more, like, goofy or if they're more just, like, or just, like, serious all the time.
Interesting.
The thing that I noticed first in guys is kind of weird. Like, I don't know if I should say
What?
Say it.
Okay, it's not in, like, a weird
Say
way,
it.
but I noticed guys' lips for some reason.
Interesting.
It's not like...
Lips
Okay,
of love.
It's just not a weird thing. That's all I can
No,
explain.
yeah,
Like,
I mean,
I
that's
just
fine.
Is that something that you feel like is kind of
Just-
across the board, or more just Hannah?
That might be just a specific thing. Like, there are specific things for every girl that like you're looking for. I also, y'all know this.
That's fine.
Something I wanted in a man was a nice jawline.
Oh.
What do you know?
Hey, baby.
Ugh.
I have a friend who, she likes guys, like, hands. She looks at guys' hands.
Oh yeah, that was
Yeah.
another thing that I looked at.
All right, here we go.
Really? I'm trying to think, because I've been in a monogamous relationship for a long time now, so I'm trying to think what I noticed, or like what I noticed when like meeting guys and stuff like that. I don't know. I think for me, I'm the type of person who is very introverted, and so I'm not looking at you. I'm not looking I'm not looking to interact with somebody, looking to say hi to somebody. I'm not keeping my eye on anyone whatsoever. And so currently, like, I don't notice anything about anybody unless I have a reason to. But when I was single, probably the outfit, like the way that they dressed, just because you can have your own style. Like, I don't care what it looks like, but I want to know that you, like, if we're like meeting for a date or we're at like an event and you come and say hi to me, I want to know that you took some time to like care about yourself and get dressed and like put effort into that, because that's kind of like the most basic thing. And that can be literally any style you have. I'm somebody who's, when I'm not at work, I'm literally in like leggings and a t-shirt or a sweatshirt and stuff like that, but I make sure that like my leggings are in good condition, my shirt matches my pants, I've washed my face and like brushed my teeth and did my hair and stuff. And so even though I'm comfy, I am somewhat put together, or I've paid attention to how I look. And so I just kind of want that same thing in a guy, I guess, is what I would say. Because I can still vividly remember what my husband was wearing on our first date. So that's my answer.
Do girls really care if guys have six packs? It's a good question.
Why is that so funny?
I don't think that I really cared if my guy had a six-pack.
Wow.
I wanted him to, like, be, like, fit, and, like, when he flexed, I wanted to be able to see his arm muscles. But I don't think that I was like, oh, no, he needs to have a six-pack.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I personally didn't want, like, pudge. I'm just not attracted to that. But I know plenty of girls that are like, give me that pudgy man.
My future guy, whatever, doesn't have to have like turtle shell shredded like that, you know what I'm saying? I think I agree with Morgan. Like,
He doesn't
have to be shredded, but
Right.
I would
Why are her answers cut so much? I'm so confused. I'm so curious.
prefer that he's not overindulging in.
doesn't have a big belly.
And I have to hold the same standard for myself. Like, I'm thinking about that. Like,
you better believe that we're saying these things thinking like we're not going to allow that to happen either to us.
Boom. Raw and honest. Raw and honest. Ladies.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, everyone has their own preference. If you're asking my opinion, I don't know, like physique, any type of physique doesn't really matter to me. I do like a guy that is stronger than me. Like, if you can pick me up, I'm like, okay, I like that. You know, that makes me feel like, not necessarily like physicality, like visually, I prefer it. It's just that makes me feel like I'm with a manly man. If you're strong and like you can pick me up, that's what I prefer. And as far as like actually physically how a guy looks, it literally doesn't matter. I just want you to look like you take care of yourself and you care about yourself. You can have pudgy belly, six pack, whatever, I don't care, but as long as you are like healthy, not, you know, muscle man completely like shredded, stuff like that, but just that you know kind of like the basics of nutrition, you take care of yourself. And it's the same thing with the outfits. And what I noticed first about a guy is just somebody who cares about themselves and knows how to take care of their own body and their own life in general.
We want you to give more of your insights and thoughts in answering these questions in the comment section. Help the guys out.
Hit that comment section.
Give this video a thumbs up. If you appreciated having Hannah Williamson, the one and only, join us for today's video, make sure you hop over to her channel and subscribe. We'll post her link below. She's dedicated to the craft, and she's got some really solid Christian content over there.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
We hope you guys enjoyed another video of us in the car having a good time. Have a wonderful rest of your day. We'll catch you again very soon. Have hope.
And be free. Also, we've had people have messaged me and said, "Are you guys living in your car?"
Oh,
Good
they're going to
question.
address it.
No, we're just hanging out in our car because where else can we hang out, y'all?
Quarantine, bro.
We're quarantined.
So that's not quarantining. Having someone else come over, man. Like, I really wish people would like use the term like correctly, would know what they're talking about. I mean, at this point, like, people are going to do what they're going to do, and if you have someone come over and hang out with you, I mean, it's really up to you, like, to know who you're going to be interacting with on a daily basis and who you're seeing in general and stuff like that, and determine if it's worth it for you to hang out, because people can be asymptomatic carriers. You know what? I'm not going to go into all of it, but that's not quarantining. Anyway, I feel like it was pretty good. Here's the thing. The more I watch these videos, the more I want to like Morgan. Because before I started my channel, I didn't watch their content at all. I watched reactions to them and videos made about them. And so I had like a general idea who they were. And since I've made my channel and like done like reactions to them and stuff like that, I've been trying to kind of keep up on the stuff that they're posting, so that way I know when they post a good video that would be like good to react to, or just kind of watching them in general, so I'm not making generalized statements based on only watching one or two of their videos. I want to know really a little bit more about how they act, so I'm not watching every video they post, but I'm keeping up with it so I'm not being ignorant and like spreading false information about them, if that makes sense. And the more I watch these videos, the more I can see who to me it looks like Morgan wants to be, and I feel like she just gets shut down so much, like so much of the time. She shows a little bit more of her personality before she met Paul, because she was a very different person before she met Paul, and there's this whole saga between like Morgan and Jacqueline Glenn going on right now, where Jacqueline showed some of the videos that Morgan was in before she met Paul, and she seems like a totally different person. And I want to like her, but some of the stuff that they promote just really isn't cool and isn't necessarily helpful, I think, for young Christians in general. I think it just promotes a lot of the damaging ideas that the churches are preaching already and have been preaching for years. And I wish that they would do a little bit more, I don't know, independent thinking, like critical thinking, and sussing out what they think their true beliefs are, not what they've been told growing up, like constantly in the church and just having the same thing told to you over and over again. I wish they would do a little bit more exploration, because I feel like they haven't determined that for themselves. And I think that they could really be helpful. Like, they're goofy, they're silly, some of it isn't necessarily my favorite kind of humor. It's a little bit cringy sometimes, but that's totally appealing to some other people. And I think that they could do a lot of cool stuff if they would just separate from these traditional beliefs just a little bit and step away from what they've been told and really look into what they think is true, if that makes sense. But that was definitely interesting. So if you have your own answers to these questions, definitely go ahead and leave them below. I'd love to hear what you think and how you feel about all of the questions that they asked. And while you were doing that, if you would consider liking this video or subscribing to my channel, that would be incredible. And if you've subscribed already, thank you so much. I love being able to just sit here, hang out with you, and talk about whatever. With all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and let you go. Please be kind to people, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.